Hello, one and all, and welcome back to Campaign 14, Dubious Claims. I'm your host, as always, Virinity Void, and this here is part 14. Yes, the numbers have finally lined up. And this here, we're in 1743. We're getting ready to spawn in a new institution. I think that is industrialization, if I recall. So we will see what happens then, who gets to get those nice PowerPoints that come with spawning a new institution. But for now, we got some national ideas to read before we get to that. Who should we read, though? I'm not entirely sure. No, Epirus is not, what's it called? Epirus is not a custom nation. I think we'll just go ahead and read... Did we read... I have not read the rest of Kraumna's national ideas, and Kraumna is actually in danger of getting knocked out. So let's go ahead and read the last national ideas of Kraumna. And again, I'm sorry if you hear me sniffing like the other parts. I am on I can feel like I'm almost 100% with my voice and with my body. But I'm just like, these last vestiges of sickness are working its way out. So I'm sorry if you hear me sniffing. In any case, the fifth national idea of Kraumna is first volunteer armies. Where the Aelkorkser relies on the nobleman, the mercenary, and the despoiler castes, and where the Tok'ran relies on the teenaged girl dragged into mandatory service and promises of care for the derelict for their respective professional corps. The Kraumner serves the army if he so wills it, for love of his home and people, manning the fortifications of the frontiers and keeping the peace in the countryside and cities. The Kraumnan soldier is a humble man who does what he does out of love and is repaid in kind by the craftsmen and farmers of his home. Morale of armies plus 15%, morale damage received minus 10%. The sixth national idea is Keepers of the Old Faith. Where the rest of Okraldia falls into heresy and heathenism, Kraumna remains true to the religion of the great empire, keeping its gods' altars lit, and paying them all their due reverence in both joy and sorrow. Tolerance of the true faith plus 2. And the last national idea of Kraumna is Southernly Settlements. The Great Isle is that great isle, a little ways south of the Kraumnan Peninsula, remains a mostly uninhabited or otherwise uncivilized region which settlements and consolidation may prove greatly beneficial for the state's maritime and mercantile ambitions. Colonists and merchants plus 1. The ambitions of Kraumna is diplomats plus 1. So, despite being religiously isolated before, Kraumna has really strong national ideas. And to their credit, Kraumna did have a time where they were very powerful. They were hot on the trails of becoming a great power in Europe, but unfortunately, it's just the way things happened. They could not get the proper alliances, whilst Fontaine and Tennis Ball teamed up together. And things just happened around them. And eventually, there was that great holy war that we saw in the previous part, where Kraumna had their Coptic faith forcefully removed, and now they're Catholic. So, the story of the rise and fall of Kraumna is one to behold, one to be learned from. And it is an entertaining story as well. It is not one of pure sadness. Meanwhile, in Central Africa, we have Bunyoro being attacked by Ionia. Ionia is seriously trying to consolidate their hold throughout Africa as a whole, and maybe even, in time, going after Mogadishu if they can maybe break up the alliances. Because Ionia has around 500,000 troops. Mogadishu has 200,000, but they have special friends in Ardalan, Fadl, Sofala, and Paradox 2. Paradox 2 doesn't have that many troops either, but, you know, the power of allies is something to behold. Bunyoro is well and truly, like, out of troops, so there's not much going to come from them. The real question in East Asia, at least, is, you know, are Loibuk and Sumuru going to go to war again? We saw that Sumuru was able to overwhelm Loibuk last time with pure numbers. Loibuk, despite having superior quality, they lost that ally of the Timurids in the west, so Sumuru was able to fully and completely concentrate on the east and not really worry about, you know, any other invasion. So I'm curious to see if maybe Loibuk gets a different ally in the west that's actually powerful enough to cause a distraction. Maybe, who knows? And, you know, you're seeing also in Africa, progressively Morocco's just getting chipped away at by Fontaine. Because Fontaine just has so many fucking troops. Like, too many to count. They don't have as many as Sumuru, sure, that's, we know that, but Sumuru is in a league of its own. They are the military hegemon, I think? Yes, they are almost the military hegemon. They are really close to completing it. I suspect it's probably going to be completed like before the next institution spawns, if I see it correctly, because it gains 0.5% every monthly tick, right? Yes. So very soon. And then tennis ball. Actually, is it going up? Oh, it's decaying. Okay, they're not eligible of it. Or they're not eligible for it. Let's go back to speed 4. Kramna's last holdout is actually about to fall as well. So the Imperialist War against Kramna is actually going to fully succeed. It's not just holding down certain provinces and just tiring out Kramna. No, it's actually taking the capital. Because Kramna was exiled to Madagascar. Oh my goodness! Wait a minute. That's actually fucking huge. Bulgaria straight up has now a personal union over Shuravia. When did this happen? Hold on. Previous rulers. When 1741. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that's I'm just shocked. I did not expect. I thought there would be a huge war that broke out, but no. Straight up, just Shuravia is now a dependency, or not a dependency, but under union under Bulgaria. That is Bulgaria's map mode right now, and it's even better because Shuravia is nowhere near rebellious. They love Bulgaria. That's just the truth of it. Teotl is going after Kramna again, and wait, are you now exiled to the New World? You are. So Kramna is now exiled to over here. And it's lights out. Farewell, dear Kramna. You have played the game well, but not well enough, unfortunately. I don't see any other chance for change. Teotl is at the gates. Empress Regent Papa Malinali, I think that's right, is about to take you over. I'm kind of surprised they still have so much defensiveness too. But yeah, King Nifal IV Ivlis. You served your country well. Wait, actually, where'd you eat? This is Kramna. This is an imperialist war. I'm actually okay. Hold on. Do they still have land in Madagascar? Oh, that's why it's 1%. For some reason, Bulgaria and Shuravia are Oh, it's guaranteeing the independence. My bad. I didn't see that. But I mean, Bulgaria, what are you really going to do? You're not going to transport troops over there. That's ridiculous. You would not transport troops over to face off against Teotl. And hey, the war I predicted is actually coming about. Loibuk is once again defending against Sumeru, and like I said before, over 1 million troops. Sumeru is just, yeah, they're ready to go at this with pure numbers to overwhelm the enemy. Which, it works. It really works. We saw it last time, we'll see it again. Is there any other big wars, though? Countries, relations, current wars? Let's see, nothing that I can see of. Epirus is going after Etruria. That's Bulgaria and all them. They're just gonna have to peace out, or maybe Teotl just pieces out Kraumna, I guess. And then Oman, for some reason, going after Mori. I mean, sure, I don't think you're gonna do anything, Oman, but whatever. Do you? Because this is the focus of things right now. I'm gonna try, before I really get into it. I'm gonna drink some water because I had some beef jerky before this, and goddamn, it was good. But it does make a man thirsty. Okay, that is much better. I don't really know if I have much to say about this though. Like, you can just see Sumeru is burning through the southern half of Loibuk and is now moving upward into the Chengdu region. And then just picking off Loibuk's armies. Loibuk does not have much of it. Like, let's see the quality comparison. Sumeru has less discipline. It's not as much as the disparity is closing for discipline, but Sumeru still has less discipline. Morale is about the same, and tactics almost the same. Slight favor to Loibuk. But you know, as the quality gap closes, so too does, like, just the amount Sumeru can win. Sorry. As the gap in quality closes, the gap in military potential increases. Sumeru just can't be stopped at this point. You know, that's just the truth. You see all this marching toward you and just, nah, there's not much to do. And it helps that, oh, wait a minute. Teotl usurped that title. No longer does Sumeru have the hegemony for military matters. Teotl has usurped it. Interesting. And they did that, you know, after kicking Rasviet some more and annexing Kado. So, yeah. No longer do we have an independent United States of Kado. They have once again been subjugated in another campaign, but this was the biggest showing for Kado, I think. They have not done this well ever in a campaign before. They stuck it out for as long as they could. They resisted for as long as they could. And they stayed as a rebellious vassal for a long while. I'm not going to disparage Kado for that. That's really fucking good. I will disparage my son for this, though. Loibuk, how the fuck did this happen? How did any of this happen? The capital is going to be under threat soon. And Sumeru's siege ability is just like... it's pretty fucking good. Sumeru has a lot of siege ability. And they still have well over 1 million troops to go through. Like I said, Loibuk, they needed an ally in the west, whether it was MNT or the Timurids or Ardalan or Astrakhan. You needed something to balance out Sumeru. And because you didn't have anything, well, this is what's going to happen. And it's also, it is a holy war. It is for show superiority. You have to win battles. Sieges don't matter nearly as much. I like that they're still trying to hold out and making a thorn into the side of Sumeru, but it's not going to matter. The capital is down. The battles are lost. The army is crumbling. What do you do? There's just... There's not much to do, unfortunately. I salute you, Loibuk, but it is not enough. Well played, Sumeru. Well played, Mr. Duck. Chukchi separate. Is there any Korean culture left over here? There's a little bit of Korean culture. There's a little bit. Just a little bit. But it's mostly a divided Korean peninsula. And that war score is still climbing. War score is still climbing. Potawatomi, are you going to be annexed? They're still kind of rebellious. Potawatomi is still a little rebellious. Wendish Realm being carved up even further. Mondstadt's going against Donauland, and Donauland, their only ally, is the Wendish Realm. So, yeah, it's partition time. Bulgaria is going after Morocco. I think it's for the Italian peninsula. But, yeah, Morocco is called upon Fadl, Zazau, and Ionia. So this is actually a big war for, like, the Balkans. We already know what's going to happen up here. Don't really got to worry about that. We got to worry about what's going to happen right here. Because if Bulgaria and Shuravia successfully push into Ionia and take land in Ionia, suddenly the Muslim world over here is no longer, like, really safe. Morocco is really going to have to put all that they can. They have 300,000 troops. They are no slouch. Ionia, 500,000. Fadl, 300,000. Bulgaria, 640,000. And Shuravia, 620,000. There's going to be some big offensives over here. Bulgaria, can you reinforce Shuravia over here? Or no, it's blocked. It's blocked. Oh no. It's not a... What, is that a stack wipe? That was a stack wipe. Oh shit. It's only one stack. Granted, it is only one stack of troops. But still, it does show that the naval power does favor Ionia and they can block these straits whenever they want. Fortress at Constantinople doesn't really mean much. Oh wait, Bulgaria is trying to contest that naval control. I don't know. This might get a little dicey. Bulgaria, there's no leader for this army. You gotta have something, otherwise they might assault, they might invade, or they might take a battle. Seriously, you should reinforce this. This siege is gonna last a while. The defensiveness is shit. Sure, the siege phases go pretty quickly, but you should do something. Reinforce them. Do something. Who says okay. I just wanted to be sure that I know exactly who's in that war. What? Epirus. Oh. Oh, what? Tennis Ball has poked over to Kazan, the Timurids, Sofala, and Ionia. So Ionia is in 2 wars. That's Ionia's diplomatic map mode, and goddamn, you have... Holy shit, Ionia. You're powerful, but not that powerful, trust me. Because now, Fontaine is in that too, and then... Oh, no. Tennis Ball... I believe Tennis Ball can fully invade Kazan and take them over. But this is going to be a long war, I think. Because you got to deal with the Timurids burrowing through Epirus, and then they're going to go in. They're going to go north, and it's going to be a hell of a war. Sumeru, how much did you take? So Sumeru took quite a bit of land in Southeast Asia as well as in China proper. So Loibuk just once again they can't do anything. They could not do anything against Sumeru's over 1 million troops swarming in. That's just how it is. Oh my god, there are so many troops moving through. Jesus Christ. MNT. Did MNT declare this? Okay. Against Sarayogir, and then... Okay, yeah, it's just MNT straight up saying, I want control over the Tarim Basin as well as the Tibetan Plateau. Is it gonna work? I have no idea, but just based on numbers alone, I would assume MNT has this in the bag. But I have been wrong before, so... Because MNT's territories are also very split up. MNT has territory over here, as well as over here. We'll see. The main focus of things, though, is the invasion of Anatolia, Shuravia, and Bulgaria, all firing on all cylinders, going hard past the Hellespont and over toward places like Akhisar as well as Opixion. Opixion. Obsikion? Kravens might not like that I'm mispronouncing these Greek names, but I'm trying, okay? I'm trying. Epidus over here. Oh my god, that fort with... That's a lot. That's a lot of defense over there. But, yeah, Kazan slowly being sieged down. Koini has landed from the Arctic, and then Fontaine is invading straight from the west. You have Tver as well as Vitegra, all under siege. And Kazan, can you actually defeat these individual stacks? Let's see the quality comparison between Fontaine and Kazan. Kazan, way more discipline. Fontaine, way more morale. Tactics slightly favors Kazan. So in these fights against Fontaine, at least, Kazan is not losing as many troops. But, there's so many buts in these fucking wars. Fontaine is not the only contender, obviously. You have shit like Tennis Ball that's going to be rolling through in the north, and you have Koini as well. They have their different individual military. I was about to mispronounce that. They have their different military strengths that will make this war very interesting. Still, it is an imperialist war as well, so Kazan's capital is way, way over here in the east. Koini is definitely trying to make a break for it, but I don't know if you're really going to be able to get Sol Goletskaya that easily. You may have to work a little bit more from the west instead of from the north. The Timurids still trying to burrow their way through Epirot land in the Caucasus. It's taking a while, but it is slowly being done. Ionia and Zazao are battling it out just north of the Caucasus. Between Shuravia and Zazao, discipline favors Zazao, morale favors Shuravia. Tactics is roughly equal. And between Ionia and Shuravia, discipline is equal, morale is about equal, tactics is about equal. So it's kind of, if I had to put my finger on things, I would say this is more about if Ionia can withstand and last with manpower and forces alone. Because if they can't, then everything is just going to crumble. Ionia is not a big and widespread nation. They're, like, realistically, they are tiny. They are smaller than IRL Turkey. So they don't have a lot of land to defend. Sure, they got all this land in Africa, stretching from the Nile River down to, like, the Darfur region, but that's not the capital. Once your capital is down, your war exhaustion is going to be going up massively. So it's like you gotta push back. I don't know where Fadl has their forces at. Let me just take a look. Fadl is trying to siege down Shuravia, and has some stacks being built up over here in the Arabian Peninsula, so they are on their way. But honestly, by the time Fadl gets over to Anatolia, it might be too late. It really might be too late. Bulgaria has the capital, and Bulgaria's about to have Atalia. What's going to be next? They're already halfway through. You need to hold out as long as you can. Meanwhile, in Kazan, I want to see those battle stats. So Kazan versus Tennis Ball. Discipline is the same. Morale greatly favors Tennis Ball. Tactics is about the same. So Tennis Ball, pound for pound, really does win out against Kazan. But at the same time, the front is very spread out. It's not condensed at all, especially up in the north. So Kazan can take some okay fights as long as they really outnumber the enemy and they catch them off guard, which they are doing. Kazan's AI is not stupid in the slightest. They're playing to their strengths, which is exactly what they need to be doing. Because if they want any shot at winning this war, this is your only shot. Make them bleed for every single inch of land before they get to your capital. Because at this point, I'm kind of thinking it's inevitable that Koini and Tennis Ball are going to get to Kazan itself. It's just a matter of, hey, can they bleed enough for it? I don't know. That's the real question of the matter, or question of the hour. Meanwhile, Morocco's not really spending that much in terms of troops. I don't know if they're building up their armies, but it seems like Morocco should be dedicating more, but they're not. Anatolia, just at this point, it looks kind of like it's being sacrificed. Bulgaria is even pushing in from the north, so I'm not sure. Let me pause real quick. I want to see Ionia. Where are your military? Where are your armies? They're in Africa. Oh, that's right. I totally forgot. Because Ionia is at war with Fontaine, Fontaine has troops over in West Africa, and Zazao has been battling in West Africa. Ionia wants to help in West Africa. But it's all just a fucking red herring because it's not going to lead anywhere. It's not going to lead the shit. Oh no, Ionia. Oh, terrible. Because, okay, let's be optimistic here and say Ionia and Zazao, they get all of West Africa taken away from Fontaine. That's great. Cool, you may have occupied all of this stuff, and you may be giving Fontaine a shitload of war exhaustion. You know what's going to give you even more war exhaustion, Ionia? Your entire mainland being taken over. That's what's happening right now. And the Timurids, are the Timurids helping out? No, you're not even allied with the Timurids, so yeah. This is just this is looking like a very firm, very solid loss for Ionia, Fadl, maybe even Morocco if it gets to that point, but we'll see. Kazan still trying as hard as they can and still taking the best fights they can possibly take, or excuse me, as much as they can, but it's the encirclement is happening. You can see the occupations in the south, occupations in the west, occupations in the north. This is becoming more and more untenable as time goes on. But it's not because of Kazan's own fault. It's just legitimately, what do you do when like the hulking giants of Western Europe come knocking at your door, and like you have not been able to accelerate as fast as they have over the years. You just can't do much. I like the valiant defense, but unfortunately, Tennis Ball, Koini, all of them, just there's nothing. There's not much to be done other than resist as much as you can against the invaders. Actually, is that fort over there still viable? Yeah, the fort at Petsovo is actually still alive and still holding out, surprisingly. And also at Sol Goletskaya. Is that peace? No, Fontaine pieced out. Fontaine said, Bro, I don't want any more in this war. I'm taking too many losses. Tennis Ball, this one's on you. And Tennis Ball has been bleeding out quite a bit. Not, I wouldn't say Tennis Ball is desperate for manpower or anything like that, but they are still paying a very, very high price for this war. It's just, yeah, Kazan is playing their cards correctly. This is exactly what you should be doing. Even if you don't win the battles that you think you're going to win, or you should win, at least you're making the enemy pay in terms of manpower, because that's like the deepest kind of damage you can do at this point. Let's see, Ionia, okay, Bulgaria. Oh, but this is a nationalist war. I forgot. So I totally forgot that Bulgaria is not targeting Ionia directly. Bulgaria is targeting Morocco. This is aimed at Morocco. And that war goal is taken. So Bulgaria is going for like this stuff right over here in the Italian peninsula and all that stuff. I think also because Venice is Slovene, it's not Italian, that Bulgaria wants that directly. Everything in Ionia is just icing on the cake, really. I don't anticipate that Ionia is going to maybe want to be allies with Morocco after this, because this is hurting. How much war exhaustion does Ionia have? It's at 5. They've been paying that down, I suspect. I really think they've been paying down that war exhaustion. I would not be shocked. Let's see. Is Kazan down? No, Kazan, the fortress, is still safe. The Kremlin... Oh, shit. Hold up. Let me see. Let me take a sip of my water, because I should take a look at something. Wait a minute. Why does the Kazan Kremlin give Great Project upgrade time minus 25%? That's a little weird, but... Okay. I'll own provinces in the region. Ooh, okay. So, Kazan's own troops move way faster inside or around their capital, basically. Interesting. I didn't know that. That is a very cool monument to have. I'm trying to see if there's anything that Kazan can do. Because, I'm rooting for them. I like that they're resisting so much, but I don't think they can. I really don't think they can. The Timurids can't really send anything to the north. And, yeah, it's just kind of dead in the water. What would have really changed this is if Astrakhan was allied with Kazan. Then I very firmly think Tennis Ball and Koini would not be able to do that. Would be able to do stuff. This is the Ardalan Reconquest of Long Shuyan. What? Oh yeah, I forgot. Forgot that for some reason Ardalan had land over here by the mouth of the Mekong River. So Ardalan wants that, and now Loibuk is at war. Astrakhan just got pieced out, so now Loibuk is now taking on Ardalan, but good luck, Ardalan. I don't think you're gonna do shit. That's so far away. Holy shit. Fadl got pieced out. I don't think they lost anything out of that war. No, they did not lose anything out of that war. So, if anything, Fadl's army got tired out. That's about it. Morocco should just concede and just give that land in the Italian... There you go. There's your peace deal. Bulgaria with the firm W. That is nothing but glory for the Bulgarians and the Shuravians. Shuravia definitely enjoying some of those spoils of war, as Venice gets reclaimed for the South Slavs. And Morocco, it was a little bit of a bloody war, but really Ionia was the one who lost the most. Seriously, Ionia lost some really nice coastline. Lesbos, Chios, Sugla, Saruhan, Menteşe, as well as Megri. Like, those are pretty decent provinces. Granted, Bulgaria does not have a connection for them. Does not have a land connection. Still, taking like a fortress there and a monument is pretty nice, regardless of what you think. And there is peace. Kazan has lost their Arctic ports. Tennis Ball has successfully seized all of them. Well, Tennis Ball alongside Coiny, so... despite it being a loss, I can't help but applaud Kazan's efforts. They really did exactly what they should have done, and there's not much else you could ask of an AI player like that. They're playing against the odds as best as they could. The deck was stacked hard against them, and it's brutal. It is very brutal. Let's see. Who can tell me? Who can tell me where that new institution spawned? Fadl, do you mind telling me? So, we had the Enlightenment that spawned in Sugla, and then we have, most recently, we had Industrialization that spawned in Cambris, which is in Tennis Ball. Did they really need that? Did the preeminent power in Western Europe really need some steroids? Some performance-enhancing supplements? Did they? I don't think so. But the game is going to be the game. I can't control where the institution spawns exactly, so sure, why not? Also, MNT, holy shit, you took a large chunk out of Sarıgölgir. Wow. You actually connected up your domains. That's impressive. I did not think you were going to take that much. And it does look like Sarıgölgir is going to be well and truly out of luck. As, there you go, Sumeru takes over basically the rest of Sarıgölgir. And, yeah, there you go. Big ol' Sumeru. God damn. Loibuk trying to recover what they can, but I'm just not sure how much it's going to be worth. I don't think Sumeru is really going to be able to do... Like, you can't... I don't think without an ally, you just can't take them down. The only thing different in the next war, maybe, between Loibuk and Sumeru, is Sumeru no longer has the military hegemony. That is under the control of Teoto. So, that could impact the quality and all that of Sumeru's army, but realistically, it's just, if they still got the numbers, they'll be fine. Quantity has proven to be stronger than quality in that sense. So, Morocco is going after the papacy some more. Loibuk going after Japan. Tennis Ball going after Donauland and the Wendish Realm. Fadl going after Oman, and then Paradox 2 going after Banyoro. Damn, I need some more on me. This part is probably going to be pretty long. Well, maybe like 45, 50 minutes? Something like that. Because I think I'll just, I will do to about 1763, 1764, somewhere around there. It's been on speed 3 for a while because it's just so many troops moving around. It just slows everything on the computer down, which I don't like, but it's just how it is. I can't do much about it. Late game EU4 is going to do whatever late game EU4 does. Oh, excuse me. And as a reminder, there are no more revolutionary sentiments. It has all been wiped out. As of the previous part, we had the revolution spreading throughout Fontaine in particular, but it did not go anywhere, so Fontaine was able to maintain relative cohesiveness despite plus 20 unrest in a lot of their provinces. Morocco being fully invaded now by Mondstadt and Mondstadt's allies, because, yeah, Morocco still does hold some land in the Italian peninsula. And if it looks a little laggy, if it looks a little jumpy, yes, it is. It's just there's so many fucking troops moving around. There's not... Even when I'm playing on my own in EU4, and I don't. There's not as many troops as you see on screen moving around. It's still there. It still gets a little slow. It's just the nature of the game. It's over 10 years old at this point. It's like I'm not expecting it to be crisp and clean from 1444 to 1821. Ionia is also in this too, by the way, because Ionia is allied to Morocco. So they want to help out their friend and ally, but, you know, Fontaine is Fontaine. What the fuck do you do against Fontaine? There's not really much. Also, Mondstadt is, are you allied? You are not allied with Tennis Ball. You are a rival of Tennis Ball. Okay. Something is going to happen between these three. Something is going to happen. Something needs to break between West Francia, Middle Francia, and East Francia. Something. Timurids, Sumeru. Also, what is this? Huh. So Japan actually put forces in the Philippines, did they? Okay. Loivu, there's no... Your war's not going anywhere, brother. Like, it's not plus 10 or minus 10 war score in either direction, so nothing is gonna happen. Also, the Japanese did take over Papua New Guinea, so that's interesting. Scottish China, how are you doing with your capital over here in the Solomon Islands? I'm not sure how good it is over there in these tropical islands, but I hope that you're actually able to make a living in peace. What else do we got? What else? Ardalan, are you still? How long has this been going on, Fadl? 4 years. You got another year. Don't overstay your welcome, or I will force a white peace. Shuravia actually is slowly growing in terms of their liberty desire, about 12%. It was at like 1% when the personal union started, but it's slowly growing. Tennis Ball, with their personal union over Koine. Koine has about 17% liberty desire. It's not a lot, but it's something. And Etruria, slowly getting partitioned more and more. Also, Kaideria did take over one huge chunk of Etrurian Caribbean, specifically Cuba and Jamaica. So, the two powers of North and South America are just working together to eat everything in both regions. How's the development looking in South America? Pretty interesting spread. No. Oh, they actually fully upgraded the fort system of Cartagena de Indias. So that's a really nice, like, defensive province. +1 attrition for enemies, plus 100% blockade force required, and plus 10 hostile fleet attrition is really nice. And then also, local defensiveness plus 25%. Like, that's jungle. That's gonna fucking suck. And, you know, Morocco is just... They can't... They are trying to stop Fontaine from rolling over them, but it's... I do not see how you stop this. Same thing as I don't see how you stop what's going on in Ionia with Mondstadt, you know, doing their own thing. It's just the long and short of it. If you hear some swishing, that's me swishing my drink around. Oh my god. What other wars do we got going on? Mogadishu's going after Semyon some more. Yeah, nothing really out of the ordinary. Maybe just Sofala versus Paradox 2. These two fighting over actual South African hegemony. And I don't know who's going to win this one. Their armies are almost equally matched. Sofala lost a battle over here, and then Sofala has an invasion over here that's happening, but they're now retreating back to maybe address the possibility of Paradox 2 going in from the north. I'm not sure. Sofala, how do you want to handle this? Are you going to go for a balanced offense-defense sort of thing? Okay, let me see the stats. Paradox 2 has more discipline, has less morale, and then has more tactics. So Paradox 2, pound for pound, is going to be winning these battles in terms of how few losses they take. But Sofala, if they are able to get the upper hand with like pure numbers in these battles, they can overwhelm, obviously. That morale is going to be intense to overcome. But, hey, it's possible. Quantity, like we just saw with East Asia. Quantity can overwhelm quality. Mogadishu, are you in this now? I thought for a second Mogadishu was. Paradox 2, their capital over here at Walayo is currently under siege, and it will fall pretty soon if Paradox 2 does nothing. Sofala is swarming in troops and recruiting as many as they can. Paradox 2, did you start this war? No, you are defending. I'm not sure that you're going to be able to hold out. What else do we got in terms of wars? Oh, Fontaine pieced out? Really? Fontaine pieced out of that war with Morocco. Now it's just Mondstadt. Mondstadt can definitely still win, of course. That's not in doubt. But I don't know why Fontaine would piece out, though. That's a little odd. Okay, Mondstadt pieced out too. Morocco, what did you lose? Did you lose anything? I don't think Morocco lost a single province. Maybe they just weren't focused on the capital. Because the capital, like, we saw what they were sieging down over here when it's an imperialist war. The capital is Marrakesh. It's right here. Fontaine looked like they were going to go for it when they were sieging down stuff over here in the north, like Kemessit. But I don't know what the goal was for sieging down like Tunis and stuff like that. That was very odd. Very odd war goal. I don't know. Is there another big war going on? No, but Sumeru is moving their troops around, and that's probably gonna fuck around with the game itself. So Paradox 2 is addressing the invasion from Sofala as best as they can, but the capital is down. The capital is sieged down, man. You were too late. I don't know what you expected out of this war, man. I really don't know what you expected. Now you're on the back foot, Paradox 2. You gotta at least get your capital back. That's probably the most ideal situation. Once you get your capital back, then you can probably do stuff. But until then, good luck. I think we'll do August of 1764. And that'll be that for this part. Wow, that siege at Walayo is going to take a while. Sofala has a lot of defensiveness, and it's a very big fort there. Good luck. Oh, man. I do like, though, that at the very least, there is a pretty intense regional war for South Africa that isn't like by external European powers. These are tags that are from this region and are actually duking it out. Because if Sofala wins and they eventually start taking over all of Paradox 2, hey, Fontaine's land down here could be in serious trouble. I don't know. We just gotta wait and see, because is it an imperialist war? It's a purge of heresy. So then that means the war goal is what's it called? It is battles won. So it is not. It's not a definitive. Yes, show superiority. Got it. All right, we'll do one more month, and we'll end it off. September of 1764. There we go. Alright, so interesting stuff indeed. Bulgaria and Shuravia united as one, and also you have Ionia taking their first really big loss, I would say. Morocco kind of not much happening with them. They lost a couple provinces, but not much. Kazan doing as best as they can with what they have. And then, well, Sumeru strutting their stuff with over 1 million troops marching into China once again. So, yeah, there's not much else, but we're almost to the end of this campaign. We have less than 100 years to go. So let's see how the rest of that happens when we get to it. For now, though, let's go ahead and take a look at that leaderboard. In first place is Tennis Ball. In second place is Teotl. In third place is Sumeru. In fourth place is Fontaine. In fifth place is Bulgaria. In sixth place is Loibuk. In seventh place is Astrakhan. And in eighth place is Mondstadt. Your up-and-coming economic hegemon is Tennis Ball. And your fully maxed out military hegemon is Teotl. That'll be all for now. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in the next part.